One-step equations with integers, problem number 16.
16.
I mean 6. Oh. Okay, so how do you know what side of the equation to work from?
The side with the letter.
Always the side with the letter, okay? And I thought about how to make this really, really simple so everyone understands. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I want you to find the side with the letter and then cover the other side. All right.
Got it.
So the next question you need to ask yourself, on this that we're looking at, this negative 13m, are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? We are multiplying, right? So we need to do the opposite of that. So what is the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
So I'm going to put negative 13m, and I'm going to divide it all by 13. Negative 13, sorry. Negative 13 divided by negative 13 is
1.
So one side of my equation now is 1m, right? Now I'm going to go to my other side of the equation, this negative 377. What did I do here? I have to do it here.
It's going to be like
Positive 125.
Someone do it so we get the right answer, for sure.
I don't have
Blaine, what is it?
Wait, what?
Negative 377 divided by negative 13.
125.6. Oh, never mind. Isn't it like 29? 125.6.
Or 29. Dividing, if you're dividing.
what
It's broken.
29.
Somebody broke your copy.
It's 29.
377.
It's 29.
29. Got it.
I don't know how you got it. That's why I kept saying do your on your calculator. So ready? 377. I know. Divided by 13, and you get 29. Okay? So that means that 1m equals 29. Is 1 times 29 29?
Yes.
So isn't that m equals 29?
Yep.
Mike, is that the answer? Is that, I'm positive that's my answer. Done. Walk away from the problem.
No, you have to check it.
Check it. How do I check it?
You plug in the number.
Up here in my original equation. So I take negative 13, multiply it by 29, and make sure it equals negative 377. Ooh,
Alright.
see that.
Okay, so
So ready?
One problem on page, you get the full page wrong.
It's not graded on correctness. It's graded on doing it. Showing your work and making sure I understand you know what you're doing.
You said we didn't have to show our work. Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
You said you didn't.
I'm not going to look at everybody's assignments and look at make sure your assignment scores are right. I'm going to give you the right answers. Did you attempt 10 problems on each page, yes or no?
yes.
Alright, because on a couple of these, I'm not sure that I didn't.
Then I will go back and check them because, Brendan, what it is, those are the test questions. So if you have done it wrong on your review, the chance of you doing it correct on your test are low.
Brand new shoes and don't squeak.
Okay, so any questions on this? We're good?
No, but
Okay, wait, we're going to do one more.
no.
Back side of that sheet,
I was just asking.
number 28.
You have to do 10 on this side of it.
Yes.
Too. It's just the same thing.
10 on each piece of paper.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, what side of the equation am I working on, left or right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to cover up my left side. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, Emily? It's a division. No, you're right. It's a division problem. Mike, what is the opposite?
Times.
Okay, multiplication. So I know that x over 64, I should multiply by 64 over 1. What is 64 times x?
64x.
What is 64 times 1?
64.
What is 64 and 64?
1.
1, right? So we know that this side of our equation is 1x. All right? So we now focus on the left side of our equation. What did we do to the right side, Ryan?
We multiply
By.
64.
So now we have to take negative 71 and multiply it by 64, right?
Negative 71.
Yeah, that's this one over here.
Holy crap. Negative 71.
1 times 64.
That gave me negative 4,544. Alright?
This is what Tanner says. So he's saying that x is equal to negative 4,544. And he asks, but Mrs. Miller, is that right? What should you do to check it? Blaine?
Plug it in.
Plug it in.
Plug it in where?
There.
Where?
How am I not paying attention to that?
Because you're not paying attention to what I'm doing.
I get that.
And see, the problem is Mrs. Miller's trying to give you an answer and show you how to do stuff, and you're choosing not to follow along. So then when you get a bad grade on your test and you go, but Mrs. Miller didn't help me? Really?
I never said that.
This right here, we're going to plug in up here. So now we're going to say negative 71 is equal to negative 4,544 divided by 64.
So,
Is 4,544 divided by 64.
negative 71, yes it is.
It is, so we know it's right.
So,
Even if it seems really unrealistic to have that be the number, if it works here, it's right. Does that make sense?
4,544 equals x.
Yeah.
X, that's the answer.
That's the answer.
You have to,
No, I have one more to do here, and then I'll help you individually. But I want you to see your 3 problems. All right, so the next worksheet is multiplying and dividing positives and negatives. First thing we have to remember is our 4 rules. Mike, rule number 1. What is a positive and a positive equal?
Positive.
Blaine, rule number 2.
positive.
3, Brendan.
Negative.
4, Ryan.
Negative. No, positive. Yeah, no.
It's negative. Okay, so you have to remember that, and then you can do just simple multiplication and division. So in this problem we have number 32, 6 times negative 1 times 2. So in your calculator or in your mind, 6 times negative 1 is
6. Negative 6.
negative 6 times negative 2.
12.
What did you get? Negative 2.
I didn't get a negative 2. I have 6 times negative 1,
And you just said
right?
6 times negative 6 times negative 2.
No, and then I have,
Negative 3.
Negative 12.
Hey, you're recording. You can play it back.
okay, then I take my 2 and bring it down. Negative 6 times 2
Negative
is
12.
double check to make sure that you got the positives and negatives correctly. In this problem, how many positives and how many negatives do we have?
2.
We have 2 positives, right? How many negatives?
1.
2.
Right? So here's our positives. The 6 and the 2 are positive and the 1 is negative. So we have 2 positives and 1 negative. So if we look over here, don't we have a negative and a positive? Now if we had 2 positives, wouldn't we have a positive and a positive? Because wouldn't they be equal? This is where I see most of you screw up. You take 6 times 1 times 2 and you go, that's 12, and you don't put the negative sign in front of it. I know you can all do this math, it's this rules that you don't get. So make sure that on that piece of paper you've written down your rules so you don't forget them. Any questions on these 3 that I just showed you? I want you to go to the business lab folder today and look at the other 2 examples I did for applied 1 on on the one-step equations with integers. Because that gives you 4 total problems for that section.
I didn't even do these problems, so.
Well,
I just do the first 10. of each page.
okay, so that's not necessarily a good idea